of poisons and use of those agrochemicals. That's all. We need varieties. So much good work done by the breeders, develop so many varieties, tolerant to insect varieties, tolerant to diseases varieties. Many of the new fruit types have been generated, short duration fruits have been generated, varieties have been generated. Lot of good work. We should harness that. I hope I have answered your question. All of you are angry. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Rutamisa, this afternoon I will continue to say what appreciation to this afternoon. Thank you so much for allowing your time to be with us, to share your experience. To tell you, sir, we came here as a dark room. Today being the third day for us in this day, I would say that our rooms became brighter instead. But the room you make us today was one of the brightest of all the rooms. Thank you for sharing all this. You really made us realize where we are today, but we must assure you we will make all the effort to try and be on your side, especially keeping our word. Thanks.
I'm pleased. Thank you very much.
To introduce today's very distinguished personality, Mr. Reddy here, and he is a valuable person in the rural development sector, not only in the state but in the entire country. I will brief his background. So CSRD is the founding CEO of AP Mars, one of the most reputed NGO of the country in the social mobilization capacity building areas. A national level technical support organization with a vision, sustainable women self-help movement in India. He has over 25 years of experience in the development sector, preferably in the microfinance and the livelihood sectors, and focusing on community-based modern microfinance. Mr. Reddy has extensively written and spoke about SNG movement in India and the strategies to sustain the movement. Mr. Reddy worked with CARE International in India for a period of 12 years, and he provided advisory and consultancy services to IFAD, World Bank, DFID, CARE, CRS, and Ross Thai Foundation of Thailand. Thailand friend, I think you will and the state government and large number of NGOs in India. And he teaches community-based microfinance course at Candy International Institute, Canada. He has to use credit in this. He was a member in the Indian Planning Commission, constituted a steering committee on rural livelihoods and the rural convergence for the 12th five-year plan of the country. He has also chaired a working group on National Rural Livelihood Mission to make recommendations for the next 5 years from the country. And Mr. Reddy is leading in the initiative of promoting the national network of resource organization called Enable. This is a network to build up the capacity of the self-help group promoting institutions in India and to advocate for the supportive policy of the environment. Evolving the system of self-regulation and SNGs and their presentation is the another area of interest and engagement. And he is an authority on the particularly in the capacity building areas. He conducts quite a number of programs across the country and is a national level resource person to Ministry of Rural Development. And I am thankful to him for spending his time. He is a very busy person, 20% of the time in the city and the rest of the period throughout the country and abroad. It is very difficult to find him, but I am happy that he could work out here on our request. On behalf of our NIRD Center, on behalf of all the participants, I thank you for spending this time and coming over here. And we will go to Mr. Reddy. Explain his experience.
Thank you very much for that. What should I say? So, I'm happy that it's a small group. In fact, knowing fully well that this is an afternoon session, I thought I would not trouble you with a PowerPoint presentation. Because the PowerPoint presentation and then a number of slides and it will go on. So I thought we will maybe have informal discussion on the issues around community-based organizations and around livelihoods. So that's kind of how I thought we could structure it. So maybe to begin with, can we maybe take some questions? This is what, second day or third day of the program?
Third day.
Yeah, so there is some problem with it. Questions that you may have in your mind, yes please. maybe we can convert this into some kind of discussion.
It's regarding rural livelihoods development programs that we implement in India. My question is how there are self-help groups that are involved. We realize that they are not from the same some different settlements that they are there. At the beginning, they don't own any land and there's no asset there. How the government assist them in order for them, out of nothing, able to access to resources, especially on lands.
So the SHGs of landless, you are saying?
Yes.
So how does government work with them? Huh?
Commodities like finance would be easy.
Yeah? Okay, sure. Any other issues or questions? Philippines. Okay. Livelihood interventions. Yeah. Yes.
So one convince the CBOs to be involved in this sustainable livelihood, though it is for the community.
How to convince them? So your kind of the assumption is that there is already a community-based organization,
Yes.
and you want to persuade them to get involved in livelihood.
Yes.
Convince community-based organizations to participate or to get involved in livelihood promotion initiatives. Yeah, okay.
One more thing, sir. Like the SHGs, particularly, we have been focusing on the women SHGs. So this model, if we could transfer to the youth, to the Indian youth. So how far?
Okay.
we can?
So you're basically asking the SHGs of youth, is that possible?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Huh? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? Till now, whatever you heard, yes, please. Yeah.
Just want to know why most of the successful groups are women.
Ah. Yes, a question that requires a workshop. But it's a good question. Why successful SHGs are always of women? Okay? Yeah.
So I just.
Maybe we'll give the chance to those who have not asked. I'm sure we will kind of look at it, but others who might want to have some questions that you want to put on the table. Again, you can even raise it from your context, from your country. It doesn't have to be related to India, by the way. Because it's ultimately, it is so important that this learning you must be able to connect with your own back home situation. Otherwise, it's not going to be effective. Yeah? So, wow, that air conditioner works. Yes, any other? Our friend from Sri Lanka. Yeah, there is a huge World Bank program there in Sri Lanka, similar to our self-help groups. What is it called? I forget the name. Huh?
Divya something, na?
Capital, this capital.
No, this is about community-based organizations, very much like what SARC has been doing in Andhra Pradesh. Yeah. What's her name here? She was involved with that program. Manavadu kuda ello cheru. Vijayawadi, but I think it was. Huh? Program I kind of.
Eastern surgeons.
Yeah. I think it was you have any questions? You don't have to have it. Yes. You are from Bangladesh. Bangladesh is the what? The Mecca of microfinance. Huh? Everything in the world is happening in Bangladesh. Huh? Including Professor Muhammad Yunus getting Nobel Prize for Peace and then he being thrown out of the Grameen Bank. Huh? All happened in Bangladesh. Yeah. Do you have any questions? You are from Afghanistan. Yeah, difficult conditions, by the way, in terms of law and order. Are you involved in social mobilization, organizing groups? No. Huh?
There are so many NGO working in Kabul.
Yeah, I know. In fact, there are at least 50 people from Hyderabad that I know work in Kabul or working in Afghanistan. So maybe we'll start with these. By the way, you already have gone through what is a self-help group, and I guess that's kind of understood by everyone. And in your own country, yours is supposed to be a beautiful country, no? Huh? Yes. So the self-help groups, I guess, are there in every country. Maybe slightly different from maybe country to country, but the principles are the same. You know. In fact, we actually talk about all member-owned organizations or self-help groups or the broad community-based organizations following similar principles. Are you all familiar with the so-called cooperative principles? Yes? What are they? The broad principles, you know, these are principles that have been around for now, I don't know what, more than 150 years and evolved over a period of time. Yes. Yes. Yeah, so so if you compare those values, like that you have these questions taken, just note down this. Maybe we can just deal with them. So one of the values is about the membership of a cooperative or a self-help group is voluntary and open. So it's not, there is no discrimination by caste or creed or by religion or by sex. There is no such discrimination. The membership is open and voluntary. It cannot be forced on them. You can't thrust that membership on them. Any other principles? Yes. So in again, she seemed to have done quite a bit of work on cooperatives. So the members have to have some kind of a share capital or what is broadly called as economic participation. So in our self-help groups we call it as savings. Okay. So the savings is one way of members putting their economic participation is expressed through a savings. If it is a formal institution which will have a legal status, then they will have a share capital. Okay? So that's the second broad principle. The third principle is all about democratic member control. That means if it is a community-based organization, who should make the decisions? Huh? It's the members. So of course we do have examples where it is a member-owned organization or a community-based organization, but others make decisions for them. But oftentimes, or what is supposed to be the best practice is that the members make the decisions in terms of what is the norms that they have to have, who should get the loan or what activities should be taken up. All that is decided by the members. And the elections are also based on the members' participation. So it's not just a nomination, the NGO that is promoting the self-help groups or the government that is promoting the groups cannot be nominating people. It has to be by the democratic process. It might be secret ballot, or maybe sometimes in an informal self-help group they just raise hands, or someone proposes someone's name and then they go on. Any other principles? Have you, by the way, because you all have some association with community-based organization, have you all seen some kind of cooperatives in your own work situation, wherever you are? Seen them? No? Not much? Huh? You have, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, you have. So, again, these are, by the way, the principles that I am talking about is somewhat generic. You got them. So, why I am kind of raising this is because this whole training program is about community-based organizations. It will be interesting for us to understand the principles behind. Okay? And then we can go into the specific questions. So, the first principle that we talked about is open and voluntary membership. Okay? The second principle is some kind of an economic participation. And the economic participation could be in the form of share capital, in the form of, in a self-help group, it is in the form of savings. In some other case, it might be a membership fee, especially if they are not into lending and recovery kind of activities. And the third we talked about the democratic control. Democratic member control. Okay? How many principles are supposed to be there, by the way? 7. Wow. Okay. So, by the way, these are the principles that have been evolved by the International Cooperative Alliance. And what we have understood and what I have seen from my own experience of working with membership-based organizations like self-help groups or farmers groups or other kinds of informal or formal groups is that these principles are generically applicable to any membership-based organization. Okay. So what's the fourth principle? Yes, democratic control and then some kind of a participatory decision making. If the wording may not be exactly the same, okay, that's another principle. There is the principle of member education and training. Okay, and the sixth is about